Oh, you think you're so good, huh? Well, I've got the rocket launcher. Oh, boom, boom, headshot with a rocket launcher. How does that make you feel? Headshot with a rocket launcher, blow your brains out, send it to the moon. Oh, well, hello, folks. It's Jabba Popovich here today. Let's play. Let's watch me. Let's watch Jabba Pop play. Today's special guest here is Fiery Extinguisher. Fiery Extinguisher is my new pal. He's going to be co-hosting my LPs from now on. One of his added bonuses, one of his helpful skills, one of the assets, one of the cards he brings up his sleeve to the table is that if things get too hot, he can help calm things down. That's right, won't you, buddy? Yeah, he will, because that's what he's been trained to do, and by the ninjas from South Guatemala. You never hear of the South Guatemala ninjas? Well, that's because they're so ninja-like that nobody knows. You can catch them or see them sneaking up from under your carpets. They're like rats, those South Guatemalan ninjas. Anyway, the game we're going to be playing today is Doom. It's an oldie goldie goodie two shoes kind of game because in this game you rid hell of demons, and what happens when there's no more demons in hell? Well, then baby Jesus hands out candy canes to all the good little boys and girls, and guess what? Everyone's a good little boy and girl, so there's gonna be a heck of a lot of candy canes. Gonna be a short supply. In fact, I don't know what would happen in heaven when so many candy canes are being given out. You would think they would have to get new candy canes, so they would have to conscript an army of candy cane munchkins to craft these candy canes. It would be like slave labor, essentially, because what are you going to pay these candy cane munchkins in if there are no candy canes? Nothing. I don't know. Once you rid hell of the demons, then heaven creates demons of its own. But let's play Doom.
Okay, fellas, we're loading, I got it off Steam. It's called the Ultimate Doom, so this isn't just the regular Doom, this is the Ultimate Doom. I think that just essentially means it's not the shareware version, it's the version that you pay for. I guess to differentiate, early in the day, this used to be, they give you an episode on the shareware for free, and then they encourage you to buy it, the full version. But anyway, we're playing in a port. The port here is called, whatever is the port called. Let's check, see if it tells me. I don't know. Anyway, this is a port. Well, it's Doomsday, the Doomsday port. Alright, so now we're in hell, and the first thing you see in hell is a giant vagina. And you stick your demon sword into it, because it's not doing anything until you please it. Actually, all you have to do is press spacebar. I wonder though, like, what spacebar signifies for this guy. In the real world, if you were to translate like computer abstraction to actual action, would that mean like he sticks out his right hand? That's the thing. The Doom guy is left-handed, which is super odd. Like, look at that. He's holding it one hand with his left hand. He's a real southpaw, as they tell you. Anyway, we got some pickups here. I like to look back and snort over the dead. It's weird because they're always, no matter how you turn, they're always facing their crotch at you. Satan really is a sexual fiend, and it's this kind of weird, like, holy crotch, as if inviting you to partake in their ultimate release, their final release. Whoa, now they've become a slither of paper. That's one of the things, guys. Doom is an early game, so the graphics are super pixelated. I don't like this port, so to speak, because it smooths over a lot of that effect. I imagine I could change that in the options somehow, but why not just a quick mode, like old school mode for Doomsday? Because I like playing my old school games in old school fashion. I tried playing on the version that came with Steam, but it's just a DOSBox port, and then they make you fiddle with that too, otherwise you can't see anything on the screen. But anyway, that wasn't fun, spending 2 minutes shooting one guy. I mean, and it wasn't difficult. I guess part of the fun in this game is navigating the corridors. It's a puzzle game. You know how, like, there's always caveats, it's just no first-person shooter. It's a first-person mazer. And I gotta tell you, a lot of the early first-person games were not shooters. They were mazes. They invited you to navigate a series of corridors and find the keys and the unlocks. And it wasn't about the action in particular. Here neither is it as much as about the actions. People would like to reinvent it. People like to reinvent history and say this was an action game. It really wasn't. It was very minimalistic action. I'm using the mouse, but in the original game there wasn't mouse support. You used the keyboard. And so you can imagine how many how much crazy fun there could be with a keyboard. It's not very actiony, unless you were like a goggle face, and you were like jamming the keys like Herbie Hancock or something. But there I died. Reload. Well, let's show you some of the other levels. It's not just hell. I couldn't have skipped ahead and went to Inferno, but when you first start off, you're on the moon or something, the moon base. This is the classic song everyone knows. So I gotta talk to you about the tracks. Let's talk about the music. It's very pumping tracks. I know that. I think they also. I read also they ripped off like Metallica or something in like all of the musics. But that's okay. I mean, it's a young genre. You're creating computer entertainment from scratch. I mean, so you've got to heavily use influences that are safe, that are respected. And Metallica back in the day and age was respected. I know they're not so much nowadays because they've become like excessive corporate whores to the point of like having strict, rigid DRM on all of their audios. But even speaking out against, you know, a lot of that stuff. But there's the demon guy. He kind of looks like a 2x4. He looks like a big old chunk of wood slammed with needles. Let's show you some secrets. You gotta pay attention to your surroundings, because you'll be able to see them. I can't imagine why you'd want to find them all in the first place, other than bragging to your friends. I found all the secrets in Doom. Isn't that cool? I'm like, yeah, someone wrote a book on it. It's called GameFAQs. Check it out. I mean, you get little things for doing secrets. Back in the day, I imagine, when you didn't have the internet and all you had was this game, The Kiwi Company, into the dark hours of the night, there would have been nothing more for you to do than whittle away your hours finding the secrets. We've gotten into fast times at Ridgemont High, folks, with the internet. There's too many things to do and not enough time. It's been reversed. It's not. There's a lot of time and nothing to do. And I think we take it for granted. Anyway, let's go on to the next level. You get a special status report. This just in. Player Jabapop Poprojovich has gotten the score of 2 on level 1 of Doom. Yeah, you killed them all, that's great. You didn't get half as many secrets. I showed you the secrets, but it wasn't enough. And it's like golf, too. You can try and get into the par, which is goofy. I like that, though. They provided that for you to compare and contrast with your friends, your playing skill. I'd like to see that more often in games nowadays, instead of all this stupid stuff with achievements, where they reward you for doing like nonsensical stuff, like pressing the B button 100 times in a row. Or like in Duke Nukem Forever, you managed to play all the mini-games in the strip bar. Like, come on. That's not a skill thing. That's just a time sink. The time sink things in this game are skill things, because they require you to exert your skill beyond what would ordinarily be expected to complete the level. So you gotta commend them, give them props for that. Let's talk about the environment in this game. It's very, very drab, very dreary. I think they did that intentionally, not because it was, dark and haha, this is scary stuff and we know players are eager for this. No, I think the reason why they chose like the dark and grimy and dirty look was because it suited the technology at the time, the whole kind of mushy pixelation, which was inevitable. I mean, if you were going to make something that looked like heaven, it would be very difficult, the technology. It would look not like heaven, it would look like hell. It would look like this. So in spite of themselves, they would make hell while setting out to create heaven. But this, they knew what they were doing. They went out to create hell, knowing that that's all they're going to be able to do. And so I've got to applaud them for fitting their design philosophy in with the technological capabilities. I don't like it when people try to use technology which does not, or I don't like when people try to create some kind of vision with technology that does not suit it. And you see this a lot of times in early cinema, you know, with blue screen effects, like people trying to transpose, like, you know, exteriors with interiors, and it doesn't match up at all. It just looks like a mess. I don't like it when they did that in like 70s and 80s movies. There's a scene, I can see this is the problem. I'm talking and I'm thinking, and now I can't think of what it was I was trying to say. I'm doing 20 different things at once, and my head is just, see, I'm going in circles. It's like a Bach fugue. You know, everything is transposed into different keys and modes, and but what was the movie called? It was with Lee Marvin, and there was a sequence where the guy was falling out of the apartment's window into the floor beneath him, and it was just comical because you could the bottom didn't match up with the scene. You could tell, and it really takes you out. You got this gritty crime thriller, and all of a sudden there's like a comically bad special effect, and so here's do not try to exceed your capabilities, folks. You know your limitations. As Dirty Harry said in the second Dirty Harry movie, Magnum Force, a man's gotta know his limitations. You know, and that's talking about movies. Every single Dirty Harry movie, he had a new quote. Go ahead, make my day. Do you feel lucky, punk? I don't know them all. I mean, because they're pretty much forgettable after like the second Dirty Harry movie. But you know, I imagine a lot of the workers spending their Saturday at the movie theater would come home or come back to work on Monday and be quoting the movies out the yin-yang. Folks, nowadays people don't quote at all. I'll tell you this: people don't quote. They have memes that do the quoting for them. It's very weird how we've offset our expression into technological forms, and so people don't express things anymore. The computer expresses it for them. You know, vis-a-vis like pressing the like button and what have you. It seems more and more there's less actual expression and more facade of an expression. So it really makes you dig your head and go, what constitutes expression? Am I expressing something, or am I being expressed, or am I a conduit for an idea? And you don't get this with other Let's Plays, folks. Only with Java Pop. He wants to take you into new realms of thought. So anyway, I'm looking for the blue key. Here's the key. You know, you don't have to draw out a map on like grid paper like you did in like some dungeon crawlers. Here you got a little helper that shows you where you haven't been. So you don't really have to pay attention too much. Maybe if you're looking for the secrets. You know, but there's a nice balance here. The game gives you what you want to put in, and if you don't want to go that extra mile, you don't have to. So what else is there to say? These are like humans that were infested with demons. It's kind of funny. There's a paradigm at work here in terms of a philosophy of evil. In science fiction movies, a individual is evil when he is possessed by an alien life form. In horror movies, you know, in like spiritual horror movies, a person is evil when they are possessed by a demon. So the paradigm here is they're both the same essentially. Evil is not an act of choice. Evil is a form of possession, and this is what you get in a lot of entertainment. This is the philosophy of evil. No one wants to admit that evil is a natural consequence. Evil is always something that happens from the outside in, and that's safe. Like, you can commit all these murders and what have you, and it's sanitizing. You can commit all these crazy murders and all this violence, but it's okay because it is not something from within. It's from something that's from without. And so they cover their tracks. You know, you always have to cover your tracks. You don't want the police to tell you. Anyone to go back and look, there were signs. No, there were never signs. He was not emotionally unstable. He did not express delusional thoughts or ideas such as tap water causing mental disturbances, and he did not do things like talk to fire extinguishers or imaginary friends on the internet. No. Not at all. He didn't do these things. He couldn't be considered of doing these things because these things were not obstacles. No, what happened was there was a force from the outside that compelled him to do it. He was possessed by a demon or an alien. But anyway, folks, that's it for today. Doom. It inspired much controversy, much censorship, much outcry from religious groups, from social groups, from people who were just fed up with violence in real life, and the fact that it seemed to emulate violence in video games. So does what I have done in the past series? Does this look to you like violence? Can you, from watching glimpses of news reports and just accounts of like school shootings, does this feel like this what must have happened when someone shot up the school? Can you conceive that like Dylan and Klebold, this is like what they saw as they were going down the corridors of the locker room and what happened? Is this, I mean, kind of. You could argue they had to navigate a maze. They had to gain access privileges. They had to secure their pickups, and afterwards they were rewarded by the constant sight of blood, by sound effects, and by essentially a high score. I don't think they got a high score sequence after each level. Didn't they kill themselves? They got a self-inflicted game over at least. I mean, there was an end game at work here. Who knows? Do you think they made it to Doom 2 or Doom 3? No, they did. That's what they missed out by committing their horrendous sociopathic crimes. They missed out on Doom 3 all their lives. They made these maps and they were absorbed by the Doom culture, but you know, they had to end it too soon because Doom 3 came out and they didn't get to see it. So I strongly advise anyone against, no matter what happens, folks, no matter how depressed or manic or scared or frightened or alienated you feel from your peers or from your elders or from the high and the low, the bad sleep well, Yojimbo, Rashomon, do not go out and like conceive of reality as a demonic battlefield, because it is, I mean it is and it isn't. It isn't like this. This is a form. Reality is not a form so rigidly defined. Reality is much more nebulous. Morality is probably... If reality was like a game, it would be more akin to like the Hitman games, where you are constantly having to navigate like tricks and tribulations. It would not be something as straightforward as like a demon shooter. There's a lot more ambiguity and chance for error and multiple pathways, so to speak. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. This is a classic. If you probably played this game, you beat it. Just here's what I suggest you do: get the WADs, get Doomsday, go to town, play with your friends, do co-op, even deathmatch, anything. Just don't try and alienate yourself further from things. Play old games until the dark hours of the night, because that's what socially that's what good people do. Good people don't shoot up schools. Anyway, have fun, enjoy life.